My prediction is that the Seattle Kraken can get a win versus San Jose, but that it depends on this line and their productivity. I just wanted to remind you what I said before yesterday's game. Talk to me nice. Talk to me nice.
You are Locked On Kraken, your daily podcast on the Seattle Kraken, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
We are the Seattle Kraken.
Hey, Seattle hockey fans, welcome to another episode of Locked On Kraken. It is a Seattle Kraken game day. And we're also coming off a Seattle Kraken win. We're going to talk about all of that on today's show, which is brought to you by Primal Origin Oils. Got beard? Get Primal. Stop the itch and make your beard look healthy and groomed. Check out primaloriginoils.com to learn more about their full line of beard care products. Use the code LOCKEDON for a 20% discount at checkout. What are we going to talk about? Donato and company having their day against the Sharks. Can Chris Driedger stay healthy? Because if he can, I want to see him in net. My boy Donato, I told you, I've been telling you since preseason, since training camp, when we had Ryan Donato visit the show, he's the real deal. And so, people telling me from the other teams that he played for, well, he's not consistent. It'll fizzle out. It'll fade out. I know I've talked before on the show. Marissa and Jemmy wrote about some of those statistics. I'll leave that link so you can refresh your memory on some of the things that come along with the Donato baggage. Yeah, I get it. But I always say, he loves us, that being Seattle, of course, better than any of those others. It's like when you find your forever person, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what happened before. What matters is the here and now. And what matters is that Ryan Donato is committed to the Seattle Kraken. And, let's hear from the guy. This is Ryan Donato. We're getting a double feature back-to-back of Ryan Donato. This is Ryan after yesterday's win, which we'll break down coming up next.
I think we just played simple. I think we know how good we can play when we just kind of play shutdown and play smart and play patient. I think sometimes, we talked about it as a group where we get into that second period and it's still a 0-0 game and nobody scored, and then we start taking chances. But I think we stuck to our plan, and I think that's why it worked out for us. I think our defense was great. I think they moved pucks up right away, and we didn't hesitate just to hold on to it and get it deep right away either. I think sometimes when things aren't going your way or it's just kind of a stagnant back and forth hockey game, guys tend to hold on to it a little too long or try to make a cute play. But I think we just did the right thing and played smart. And then, if you do those right things, it turns out usually. It was spectacular. He was confident, patient, and just kind of, there's some goalies that get a little crazy and move around a lot, but he's just always square and making the good, smart save. And, it's tough to beat a goalie that usually makes the first save all the time, and he limited his rebounds tonight. I think he was great, and obviously a huge part of our win.
All right, thank you, Ryan.
Thank you.
And what I love is that Ryan Donato had the utmost respect for his goaltender. And we're going to talk about Chris Driedger coming up in the game. But here's how it went down. It was a 3-1 victory in favor of the Seattle Kraken, scoreless in the first two frames. Now, although it was a scoreless game in the first two periods, the first 40 minutes of the game, it was an exciting game, okay? My goodness, Chris Driedger putting on a show. Then you had Adam Larson. Here's the thing. You probably saw that clip that's going around of Larson, the slow-mo replay of Larson swiping a puck off of the goal line. I should say he didn't swipe it. He gently placed it and just ushered it over to Driedger. But if you saw the play before that, there was another big play. And I love that. I love defense. If you're a longtime listener, you know that I love defense. And I loved to see a good defensive effort from the Seattle Kraken. So here is how it broke down. Again, scoreless in the first 2 frames. Then it was Ryan Donato. Oh yeah, your trivia question answer, Ryan Donato, first ever Kraken goal scored by Ryan Donato on the road. First Seattle Kraken and first goal in this game overall. Scored by who? Ryan Donato. His 6th goal of the season, assisted by Donskoy and Susi. That was at the 6:23 mark in the 3rd period. So after a back and forth game where both netminders and their defenders had to kind of come through, it was at the 6:23 mark early on in the 3rd period. And then it was Turbo Tuesday, Show. Brandon Tanev with his 9th goal of the season at the 14:18 mark gets it going. Geeky and Yarncroak have the assists on that goal. Logan Cooter is the goal scorer for the Sharks at 17:53. But then at 19:54, my goodness, empty netter. It's Callie Yarncroak with the assist from Appleton and Wenberg. And you know what I love about that 3rd goal? Yeah, it's an empty netter, and some people will say whatever they're going to say about an empty net goal. What I liked about it is that it showed patience. Already up a goal. You don't necessarily need the empty netter, especially with, just a matter of seconds left in the game. But I think it showed patience. I think it showed that this team, when they really, focus on it, they can put together a nice little hockey game here. So I like the win. I told you yesterday that the win would be contingent on the 4th line of Donato, True, and Donskoy. That was actually the name of yesterday's episode. You can somewhere up here if you're watching on YouTube. You can check that out. Also, if you're not watching on YouTube, but you're listening, first of all, hello. I know I'm giving a lot of love to YouTube these days because I absolutely love video podcasting. That being said, a lot of our original listeners, of course, were just listening to audio. So either way, I hope you're doing great. Thank you so much for listening to Locked On Kraken. We're recording this episode just after media availability with Dave Haxtell. So no morning skate for the fellas. None of the players were made available. It's a back-to-back. They are in the hotel doing what they got to do. Dave Haxtell talked about that. As we reported yesterday, after Dave Haxtell's media availability after morning skate, it will be Philip Grubauer in net. But coming up next on Locked On Kraken, I want to go back to this game against San Jose and talk about Chris Driedger as the Seattle Kraken backstop. So that is what's coming up next on Locked On Kraken. Got beard? Get primal. You heard me right. Got beard? Get primal. If you or someone you care about has a beard, it needs to get primal. Maybe you're the person who has never considered the benefits of treating your beard with a product. Primal Origin oils will stop the itch and make your beard look healthy and groomed. These products are free from harmful synthetic ingredients and with a low impact on our planet. Primal Origin oils makes balms, oils, and whipped butter that are renowned as the best feel in beard products available. All products are fair trade certified and handcrafted in the United States. The comb kits make a great holiday gift, and if you're shopping for yourself, you'll be glad you picked this one up. Now, we know that every company claims to have the best, but Primal Origin Oils challenges you to compare their ingredients and feel in beard the other products you've used. We promise promise you will see and feel the difference. Remember, use code LOCKEDON to get 20% off at primaloriginoil.com. That's code LOCKEDON for 20% at primaloriginoil.com. Although I do not have a beard, I certainly can attest to good grooming just overall is a good habit. And another thing I can definitely let you know from personal experience is that being hangry is not the way to go. So this holiday season, grab a protein bar that tastes like a candy bar or even better than a candy bar. Built Bar, filled with so much holiday goodness, rich with a decadent flavor, covered in chocolate, is the way to go. It gives you that extra fuel you need to bust down those malls if you're still doing your shopping. I just got a package delivered in the middle of recording this podcast, so I know how it is. You've got everything that you're trying to get done in the holiday season before the end of the year. You want to start the new year off right. That's a lot of things on your to-do list. But if you pack Built Bar, whether you're going to the gym, you're headed into the office, or you're working from home, you won't regret it. You won't be hangry. You'll be able to get through everything that you need to do and feel good about that. This is a bar that is low in carbs, it's high in protein, and it has a delicious taste, just like some of your favorite candy bars. Because the puffs, they have marshmallows in the puffs. They're covered in chocolate, and you still get a marshmallow taste for roughly 150 to 180 calories, depending on the bar that you get. So if you head over to built.com and use promo code LOCKED15, you'll get 15% off your next order of Built Bar. That's built.com and use promo code LOCKED15 for 15% off at built.com. Happy snacking. We're coming back, Locked on Kraken. As always, thank you for making Locked on Kraken your first listen of the day. And you know what? I'll give you some grace if it wasn't the first listen of the day, because we've been waiting for the morning skate updates. Either way, I'm so glad that you're here. This has been an amazing community. I'm having so much fun. And even when I fall asleep before the end of the game, I catch up on Kraken Twitter. I don't know if that's a real thing. Maybe I just made it a thing. We should make it a thing. But I love it. Iced Kraken, I know you were calling for a Donato goal, so we're right here. Yes. Absolutely. We knew Donato was going to kill it. Another thing I said, though, and I've seen people in among Kraken Twitter talking about this as well. I have always wanted to like Driedger. I didn't think he had a great training camp. We've talked about that on Locked on Kraken before. That being said, when he is in the game, we're getting good things from our guy. He had 33 saves on 34 shots in yesterday's win. No power play goals. So not only did the PK crush it, but also Driedger crushed it. You are going to hear him a little bit, and you're going to hear, and you heard Donato talking about it. Dave Haxtell mentioned it too. Just confident. He went in confident. He was doing what he had to do. And that's all you need. I've talked about it before. I just feel like Philip Grubauer sometimes gets a little bit shifty in net. Sometimes it just feels as though he's a little bit separated from what's happening in the game. And having never been a goaltender, it's hard for me to exactly describe what that is, but I have been a competitor, including a pitcher, a baseball pitcher. And it's a mental game. It's definitely a mental game when you're the one that has the ball in your hands, or in this case, Philip Grubauer, when you're the last line of defense. And Grubauer has had to go in games where maybe he wasn't 100%. Maybe he didn't feel great after the games. Now, on the one hand, buddy, that's life. That's not even hockey, right? That's life. So, but that being said, in life, we don't go it alone. And we have to be able to communicate when things aren't going well. And you do need a little bit of a break sometimes. Grubauer has not been able to really get much of a break. Driedger has had 2 injuries that have sidelined him. And I think, again, we're waiting still to see that plan. If Grubauer and Driedger are going to be a 50-50 tandem. These performances that we're getting from Driedger, he has 5 starts, 3 wins, a 3.07 goals against average on the season. He had a 9.71 save percentage last night. I think there's some hope here. And, you know, you hear guys say that they want training camp, they want things to be competitive. It's certainly been competitive for the defensive pairs. We keep seeing things switch around for the forward lines. We haven't had the luxury of really being able to do that. Joey Daccord, I think, has done a fantastic job with the time that he's been given for the Seattle Kraken. But we all know that Joey Daccord is not what was planned. The plan was to have Grubauer and Driedger. And if Driegs is having a game like this, yeah, he needs to get more starts. Now, the plan was to go in this back-to-back games. We've got the Ducks tonight. The plan, we reported on this yesterday, was always to split these games. If Driedger can stay healthy, and he keeps putting performances up like he did last night, like he did against his former team, the Florida Panthers, how do you not give the guy another game? How do you not give him another game? You've got to. Because, you know, for my money and my opinion, Grubauer's got some things to figure out. I'm not 100% sold on him. With Driedger, it's the injuries. Can he stay healthy? Can he, you know, make sure he's getting the rest that he needs for his physical body, since he seems to be getting these lower body injuries and tweaking things. You got to be careful with that too. But if Driegs is staying healthy, and if he's putting up games like that, I like how the team played in front of Driedger. I liked how Driedger responded. I liked how he was communicating. I mentioned Larson, and we're going to hear from about him again later in the show. But, you know, Larson's, when he made those saves, you saw that at the next media timeout, Driedger skated over to the bench to talk to his defenseman. I love that. I'm not saying Grubauer has never done that. I'm just saying that I'm noticing these things with Driedger. Even with media, he's much more communicative. And is that, you know... I guess all the signs are pointing for me to that Grubauer is not 100% comfortable on this team for one reason or another. Will it take time? Will it take just working through whatever's going on? I don't know. But if Driedger is healthy, I say we see more of Driedger. He has earned another start. I get it. It's a back-to-back. You already had the plans. But you know what? Maybe we don't default to Grubauer. Maybe we don't. I think Driedger is making a case for himself. So I'm very excited to see what will come. Before we close out this piece talking about Driedger, let's hear from the guy himself. I want you to hear what he had to say about the game, how he felt. And then coming up next on Locked On Kraken, we're going to get you ready for game day. Again, it's Anaheim Ducks. We've already, cooked up some shark. And maybe now we're going for some duck for dinner tonight. Let's do it. But first, Chris Driedger.
Yeah, I mean, I thought we played a great first period, a really dominant first period, which I think we've had some good first periods this year, and it's good to build off of. You know, last game we had a great first, and they get one in the second, and it kind of deflates our group in the Columbus game. But you know, tonight, it wasn't working for us in the first. Goal scoring wise, I mean, we were playing well, but nothing was going in the net. We got a couple tough bounces over the stick in the second period, and we just stuck to it. So that's the kind of resilience we need to see from this group, and we need to carry that into tomorrow. Yeah, I mean, I felt good in there tonight. You know, had a little bit of help. You guys were talking about Lars's save there. I mean, that's up there for save of the year. So it's always nice when, one gets past you and you have your D bail you out like that. So, I think when everyone's playing well, I can hopefully bail the guys out in a couple plays and they bail me out a couple times. So, it's nice to have each other's back like that. And to your point of me seeing the puck, I think, it's just, with the new group, you're gonna have to figure out where guys are going to be in the sight lines, and I think it's been a bit of a journey for me, and being out, with a couple injuries didn't help things, but it's nice to be back and feeling good, and I feel really confident with our D core in front of me, and seeing pucks and knowing where they're going to be so that I can get the sight lines down. So it's been, I think we're headed in the right direction and seeing some good things there.
BetOnline has you covered all season. More props, more odds, and more lines than ever before with its new interface and its new website. But even with all that newness, it remains your number one spot for sports action this season. Head to the new website using your tablet, your smartphone, your desktop, your laptop, whatever you got, and sign up to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit when you use promo code LOCKED ON. From basketball to football to, of course, the National Hockey League. Don't wait to take advantage of all the amazing officers. Why do I always do that? Of all the amazing offers available in 2021 and beyond. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite sports. BetOnline, where the game starts. Well, we started with what transpired last night. Now let's get you ready for the Anaheim Ducks game. Okay, here's what we got. The Ducks 6-2-2 in their last 10 games. They also are on a 1-game winning streak. The power play, they have a top 5 power play, as you can see over here. We've talked about this. The Seattle Kraken do not have a top 5 power play. Penalty kill. The Ducks also have a strong penalty kill. The Seattle Kraken did great on the PK last night, but we're in the top 15. And then they're rolling with a 16-9-5 record. We played them back on November 11th. You may remember, and I'm gonna put that up here for you. But we did a squad cast with the fantastic Jay Hernandez from Locked On Ducks, and 7-4. Not a great performance by the Kraken. Not a great performance by the Kraken at all. And now they have to take on the number 1 team in the division in the Anaheim Ducks. They're sitting on 37 points on the season. We have a anemic 23 points. We're working on it. If we can get some points every game, that's progress, baby. That's progress. We've got a lot of work to do. I made a bold prediction that we would slide on in to the playoffs. And, right now it's, not looking great. But let's keep chipping away. Seattle Kraken. Overall, Seattle has to play that team defense that I love. It's going to be Gruby and net. But what I think was effective for Driedger last night is that he was a little bit aggressive. That being said, we also heard from Driedger that he did not have a lot of rushes to face. Unfortunately, when Grubauer is in net, because he happens to be in net for the majority of the games, that man gets a lot of rushes. We let teams be rushing all day and all night. And then it's just Philip Grubauer there and having to stop everything, all alone in his net. Obviously, you want to eliminate rushes. Obviously, you want to be strong in all 3 zones. We've talked about entries. We've talked about exits. We've talked about turnovers on the blue line. Oh, no turnovers on the blue line, please. No turnovers on the blue line. This is a Ducks team that, again, is sitting at the top of the table in the division. And we talked about it on yesterday's show. The Seattle Kraken have to show that they mean business when it comes to the Pacific Division. And they've got an opportunity not only with Anaheim tonight, but as I mentioned over the weekend, the Seattle Kraken will also take on Edmonton. So this is an opportunity, not just tonight on the road, and it's not a long road trip, so no excuses, okay? Same time zone, didn't have to go that far. I mean, a trip is a trip is a trip, and a back-to-back is a back-to-back. But all things considered, it could be a lot worse. It has been, and it will be. Then they'll get some rest, and they'll go back to CPA. So I'm doing a little bit of a setup for this weekend. Also, we're going to talk about it, obviously, for the rest of the week on Locked On Kraken, but I want to just get you ready. What's at stake here? Getting strong wins when you can is critical for this team. Anaheim's going to be a tough one. Edmonton sitting fourth in the Pacific Division, 27, 16, and 11. We obviously know that we can beat Edmonton. We've done it before, and we're going to have to prove it again. We will see the Anaheim Ducks again in March. And so this is an opportunity really to show that we've improved. 7-4. That was a wild and crazy game. Let's just do the breakdown, the goal breakdown. Like, how actually did this happen? Only one goal in the first period. That was McTavish. Then we had 5 different goal scorers in the second frame. Troy Terry, then Jaden Schwartz, then Josh Mora, then Jared McCann, then Kevin Shattenkirk. So it was a back and forth. Lots of back and forth. Defense, who is she? Don't know her. If I saw her on the street, sorry to that woman. Don't know defense. That's the Seattle Kraken team that the Ducks played on November 11th. That's what we were working with. Okay. Then it was Eberle scored. Then the Ducks scored. Then Jared McCann scored. Then the Ducks scored. Then the Ducks scored again. So it was a back and forth. That was kind of the pace of that game. Seattle has the potential to mitigate a lot of that, to pack in tight, to compress, to play strong defense, to be strong on the blue line. Watch and mind your entries and your exits. Don't cough up the puck as you're entering into the neutral zone from the defensive zone. Again, Gruby, we leave that dude out to dry, more than, your favorite quilt on a clothesline. That man is always left out to dry by the Seattle Kraken. That can't happen. And it goes back to what I was talking about in the other segment too. Gruby he's got a lot going on, man. We don't always play the same for Gruby. Let's be honest. Don't always play the same for Gruby. Why is that? Well, unfortunately, I won't be able to get to too many games before the Olympics. Oh, that's a whole nother. I had a call about the Olympics this morning. Lots of stuff, lots of moving parts in a very short amount of time. But we can talk about that some other time when it's not a Seattle Kraken game day. I'm pretty hype. Hoping I can stay up for this one. I don't have an early morning call like I did for today. So let's do it. We're going to burn the midnight oil. You know how we roll. Locked on Kraken. Going to be with you. And at minimum, we'll talk about it all tomorrow. But for Locked On Kraken, I am your host, of course, Erica Lindsay Ayala. I thank you for making us your first listen of the day. And now go head over and listen to Locked On Bets. Your boy Q, Lee Sterling, getting you ready for everything you need to know about sports betting. Just like on Locked On Kraken, we let you know everything you need to know about Ryan Donato. I meant to say and the Seattle Kraken, but I'm petty. I am petty AF. And you know who you are. You know who you are in the Locked On NHL Network. You came in when I was excited about Donato, and you tried to yuck my yum. You tried to burst my bubble. You tried to know my yes, and I'm not here for it. And neither is Donato, baby. So let's freaking go. Hold fast. Stay true. Let's go Kraken. Bam!